Tonight, President Trump parroting Russian propaganda as he falsely accuses Ukraine of starting the war, which began almost 3 years ago when Vladimir Putin's troops invaded Ukraine. I want to bring in our chief national affairs correspondent, Jeff Zelensky. He's traveling with the president in Florida. So, Jeff, what exactly did President Trump say?
Well, if it was some of the sharpest criticism we have heard directed from the Trump administration, or in fact any American president at the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, of course, this is coming on a day when the U.S. and Russia were meeting to talk about the very fate of Ukraine. Zelensky did not have a seat at the table. But the president was asked specifically about that just a short time ago at his Mar-a-Lago resort. He fired back at Zelensky, suggesting that he could have stopped the war 3 years ago.
I think I have the power to end this war, and I think it's going very well. But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
You could have made a deal. You should have never started, of course. Well, that is not just a misstatement of history, of course. Russia invaded Ukraine, as we all saw and witnessed 3 years ago, nearly to this date. But Russia also has the history of Ukraine. I mean, when during the first Trump administration, their incursion was spreading and growing. But the American president did not stop there. He went on to essentially belittle and question the authority of the Ukrainian president. He said his approval rating was at 4%. There is no evidence to back that up. The latest poll from a couple months or so ago was right around 50%. Never mind that, he also questioned his leadership and said that there should be new elections. Now, of course, there have not been elections in Ukraine because martial law was called because of the Russia invasion. But we've taken all together here as this is coming as peace talks are just dramatically intensifying between the U.S. and Russia, as we saw in Saudi Arabia. There's no question that you odd man out here, and Trump was very eager to fire back at Zelensky and certainly not defend him today, Wolf.
Truly outrageous comments. Jeff Zelensky, thank you very much. All of this comes as U.S. and Russian diplomats kickstarted their talks in Saudi Arabia aimed at trying to bring the war to an end without Ukrainian negotiators in the room. Our chief national security correspondent, Alex Marquardt, is joining us now from the Saudi capital of Riyadh. Alex, how is this comment, this latest comment from President Trump, going to be received?
Well, Wolf, this will strike at the deepest fears that the Ukrainians have of how President Trump views the conflict and who is responsible, and concerns over concessions to the Russians. The president here laying blame at the feet